I am originally Nigerian. Yes, I'm a Canadian now. There's always this moment that you begin to now shift from that perspective of I just japa, I will not come back home, I will not look back. No matter what the country has brought your way, it is still your country. Is it really worth it? And I know this question comes to you. Don't say that you are not a Nigerian, and don't say that you are not going back home. All things have to be put in perspective for you to make a final decision. Or you feel that life ends here because you have immigrated here. Welcome to my channel, guys. I'm sure you're shocked by this topic, but hang on, guys. This is relating to me and so many other people that are talking about this, that they are not returning to their home country. But let's talk about this in just a minute. I am originally Nigerian, first and foremost. Born and bred in almost 8 different states in Nigeria. And of course, from my childhood, I was born in the north, went to my elementary or primary school in the north, Air Force moves, and then moved to the west for my secondary school, that's the high school now, and then my university. So moving around the country, I also served in the east. In fact, should I call it north? I was posted to the east. I ran away. I didn't want to go. And then I was now posted to the north. That was Kaduna. So I served in Kaduna State. But where I'm going is I've moved around these cities for kind of the majority part of my life, growing up as a young girl to eventually a married girl. And this journey has actually made me who I am today. So I am originally Nigerian. Yes, I'm a Canadian now. So I'm addressing those that want to move to Canada, or those that are even here, and some of you will say I'm not going back to my home country. No matter what the country has brought your way, it is still your country. We are still going to go deep dive into some things that I want to share about my country, which I would say kind of resonates with this place, because there's no country that is perfect. Okay, I got married and of course started having children, lived my life, had a good life, was working, moved from job A to job B. It was really good. And then I started my business into year 2 of my marriage and was still working side by side, discovering the business. It was a passion at the time. And life was good. We were just doing that. We'll travel back and forth to get things and begin to sell my product. And of course, I was an interior designer. I learned interior design not by academics or not by training, but by passion, just love for combining colors, love for designing, love for how things look, really. So I'm one person that self-learn, and eventually I got certified because I had to do a course just to be able to give it that recognition that it deserves. But I self-learned all the way through. So bottom line, I eventually got married, and year 2, the business kicked off, and then was working side by side and all of that good stuff. But eventually, trying to look at greener pastures, I wasn't really interested because life was good. We were moving from country A to country B to be able to buy my wares, sell them. It was good vacation, business trip, which I was having at the time. And things were good. Until reality started coming in and we started having children. And I know that everybody can relate with this, because at some point in your life, there's always this moments that you begin to now shift from that perspective of I had said this and now this is it. So at that point, it was still not resonating with me, because I know that if I can recall, it was my husband that said, okay, I think we should japa, go to Australia or move abroad, really. And then we started trying, but I wasn't really. And that's where, when the Bible says, can two work together except they agree? We were not in agreement, because I was not ready to go anywhere. He said yeah, we can go, we can start a new life abroad. But I wasn't ready because look, yes, we could travel if you wanted on a vacation. You could be in your country, things were good, business was good, doing it at home. And I was thinking, in this abroad that we will go to, you can't really do business and be profitable in the way you do it in Nigeria. And forget, I wasn't cutting corners. I was doing good business. I had my clients even from my workplace, because I worked in a construction company. So my business was kind of aligning with my company. And it wasn't bad really. I made good friends with the people I worked with, and did their interiors, of course. So it was good. It was a growing concern, but it was good. But like I mentioned, we're having children, life was getting tougher, school fees, house rents, everything was going up. And then we began to ask ourselves questions. Is it really worth it? And I know this question comes to you, and I'm addressing, if you're here in Canada and if you're still back home in Nigeria. Some of you would say, if I just japa, I will not come back home. I will not look back because the life here is tough. So let me just go to Canada, or let me go to the UK or Australia or America and live my life, and just live my solo life, or just live a life away from all these concerns. But let me tell you, there's no life that is perfect. There's no life that is perfect. You might live or run away from trouble A, you are going into trouble B, because you don't know what is ahead of where you're going to. Nigeria had its own issues: instability, economic crisis. There was, currency instability. We had political issues, so many issues, falling on us. And even looking at this way, there are also issues here in Canada. I look at it, the political system too is ziggy haga. There's one concern or the other. There's, even with the immigration that we talk about, law A today to favor immigrants, tomorrow they wake up, they change the goalpost, and because they've had people that are here. And then you have issues with integration, you have issues with job, getting into your field, you have issues with the wages that they pay you. You see yourself doing some things that you probably won't imagine yourself doing, and that's the life that you probably will find yourself here. I won't say the life is constant with everybody, but these are expectations or realities that we find ourselves in. But it wasn't something that, it's like the story or a way that somebody tells you that nobody teaches you or tells you how marriage is run until you step into, or motherhood, for instance. Some things they don't teach you. You have to step inside it. It's like immigration. You enter, you learn by yourself. You learn the ropes. All the things that we share is good lessons. It's good for people to be able to understand. But the best teacher is still by experience, because somehow people still come back to you on your DMs and tell you that you people don't want us to come to Canada, that's why you're saying this, you're saying that. But the bottom line is that nobody can really tell you exactly how it is, or maybe you take it. Nobody can change your orientation or change you from believing what you want to believe, and that's the honest truth. So the reality back in Nigeria and the reality here in Canada, they are so different, but they are realities. So things are not stable in such a way that you can see the economy keeps changing. We have had increase in gas as well. Price of fuel, we call it fuel, has gone up at some point. And things are expensive. Grocery, accommodation, the cost of renting a place, to when I came, things have moved up. So the cost of what your currency can even buy for you back then and now is different. And these are the things, or some of the challenges too, that Nigerians to face. Even, people might say they are worse things, but please let me tell you, life is not the same everywhere. There are so many things. Maybe you can say value of currency is devalued, the economy is not growing as it should be, everything is expensive, there's no job, there's no this. Things are the same. So don't write off your country and say you won't be moving back to that country because you have seen greener pastures, or you feel Canada is a greener place for you to be. There's always home where there is home, and home for me is still Nigeria. I appreciate a lot of things here in Canada, a lot that my home country wasn't able to give to me, like the exposure that I have. Even, in fact, I can't even imagine myself that I probably would have had a YouTube channel back in Nigeria, because my experience here actually birthed this channel. So I'm grateful about that. and then meeting new people, helping me to be able to discover myself in various ways. And because there's also opportunity for you to leverage your skills in so many things. In fact, I've been in so many places or so many trades because of the diverse or the multiculturalism of this society. And then you meet people, you learn how to do things. So I'm grateful with the connection that I've had. And these connections, yes, not so many, but even in the little connections that I've had, it has helped me to grow and be who I am today. And apart from, meeting people via this channel, which has also grown my network, it is also the people that you meet in your workplace, the people you meet even on the streets. There are so many diverse people, and that help you to integrate, really. Don't forget that, yes, there's still racism, there's bias, there's people behaving somehow to you. They don't want to see because you are black, or you feel, yeah, that stigma might still be there. But some people are so embracing that you just wonder that, oh really, do you live here? Do you not see that I'm black? You're not treating me differently from the way other people are treating me. But these things are subjective. There is racism, yes, but hey, everybody has not been discriminated against. So there's still so many things that you need to be grateful for. Yes, if I look at my country back in Nigeria too, you might say, there's no racism, but we have difference in culture, and there's always quarrel, one tribe, one culture. There's always one issue with a sect, whether you say the north is the north, the northwest, the south. They're always having one banter or the other. So there's always crisis. And because Nigeria is so big, it's bet to say less, is a difficult country to govern, honestly, because we have so many cultures. Honestly, with so many presidents that we had and so many leaders, it's been tough. When you feel that you are doing something right, another sect will come and say you are favoring maybe the south against the north, or the south feels that, look, it is our own turn to become president. There's just this going on. So it's difficult to govern. However, you can imagine that Nigerians are still united, because look, when it comes to supporting Nigerians, when it has to do with something happening to somebody, Nigerians, they actually get up, they rise up to that cause. We defend. We can even go to the extent, if we see somebody stealing, that person. So the difference, like I said, is the healthcare sector can be a good thing here in Canada. The job market might be slightly better here in Canada. Education too, for instance, can be better here in Canada. And I know these are some of the things that we all look forward to when we decide to move abroad. But there's always a going concern. Even with back at home, people also have concerns with all these sectors, but they are improving. And yes, if we give things time, they will also improve. But the bottom line is, we should focus on the positive side of things. There's no perfect community, there's no perfect country. And if you move from one country and there's war, won't you leave? Won't you run? So we must be grateful and thankful that at least wherever we are, we still have breath to be able to say or see things that are working in our favor. Okay? So as you move here, or as you think of moving to Canada, your future plans should not be that you don't want to move back to your country. You might decide to go retire back in your country. It's your choice. Don't ask me my choice, Sha. If you decide, I've told you from the beginning that Nigeria is my first home. So you can find the answer from there. But your choice depends on you, depends on how you've lived, or how long you have lived in Canada, how long you feel you want to stay back, or you want to go back. And there are so many things, because if you also look at growing old here, aging here, here in Canada, unlike in Nigeria where your aged people actually can live with you, and you keep them with you, it doesn't work that way here, because every day, every minute, every hour counts, and everybody thinks about the bills. It's always about the bills. And if you stay with your aged ones, you need to be able to care for them. And that's why we have so many carers and care homes here, and those facilities that care for the aged, those that are older, that have dementia, or have one issue or the other, that they need help or specialized care that you cannot provide staying with them at home. So all these things you must think about. If you grow old, would you do you think your child, even though they are here, would they be able to sit with you? Even talking about giving birth here, how many people with parents that I've seen here stay with their children when they even give birth? We call it omugo in Nigeria. You see your parents, if you give birth, your mom has moved in with you for like 1 month, or your mother-in-law too will take her own turn. But here you see everybody, you're on your own. Is almost like an individualized life, that you run your race on your own. Nobody really helps you. Everybody's kind of chasing after survival. So it's difficult to look at. So you must weigh those options before you conclude that you're not moving back to your country, or you feel that life ends here because you have immigrated here. So all things has to be put in perspective for you to make a final decision. So my candid advice to you is advise yourself. Whatever you think works for you, works for you. There are so many pros and cons to living in Canada, or living in the UK, or even living in your own country back in Nigeria. So many things. One of the things that I also love really is about this debt, or almost not being in debt. How do they pronounce it? Ibc, debt in your country. Because like you're building your house now, you will build at your own pace. You don't have to get into debt. You don't have to. And sometimes, yes, you probably can approach the bank for loans and co. But as you have the money, you lay your foundation. Next time you build, you do your decking. You start again, you put another layer of. You begin until you get to your roofing stage. Then you keep pausing. It can take you 5 years to build your home. It is your home. It is your sweat. It is your money. You build at your own pace without owing anybody. But if you check around here in Canada, except new immigrants, if you have not bought house, you are the only one that is not in debt. And that's one thing that we also need to look at here in Canada. Do you want to be in debt throughout your lifetime here in Canada? Yes, you will pay off your mortgage. Yes, you will. And you will probably be buying more houses after the first one. But guys, when we move in, most of us that have moved in, we move in at an older age. And then you have less time, 20 years or 25 years. I hear now that they want to extend again to longer, so that you can pay and be indebted more and owe the bank more, and they take more profit from you. Because why? It's a credit world. But those things don't really happen. We hardly go into debt in Nigeria because we spend what we have. We don't spend what we don't have. And that's the beauty of it. So you want to think about this, growing old, living in debt. Those are one of the two. But if you also look at the flip side about education, the health sector, the job market, and even with the job market, it's diverse now. Things are, thank God for COVID, has made things so virtual that you can still get jobs from anywhere in the world. There are companies that hire globally. You can be in your country and be earning in the US dollars. So I won't play this as a priority, because if you play your cards right, you can still get jobs in those markets, right? Finally, I would say for me, leaving my country was a tough decision. It was really and basically because of our children, to be able to give them that education and the exposure that they need as young children that are growing with that brain that they need to really be able to explore and be a better person in their life, which of course this part of town would have given them that opportunity. And we see it in them. They are doing great things. They are doing wonders. Honestly, they are doing so much, and I don't believe that if they were still back in Nigeria, they would be this smart, this intelligent, and this exposed. So we're grateful for that opportunity. But please still don't forget that you have a home. You are first from your local country. At least you hold that passport from when you were born till now, before Canada decided to now give you their own passport. So don't say that you are not a Nigerian, and don't say that you are not going back home. If you think about any other challenges that would make you run from your country, or make you not want to stay back in your home country, Nigeria, for me, it could be China, it could be India, it could be Pakistan, it could be UK, it could be anywhere in the world for you as your own home country. It could be Bangladesh. Wherever you have come from is home to you. What are the challenges that you faced there that made you run? and come to Canada and you feel that you're not going back. Some people, even I know, was it an Indian that said that, look, when you buy a house in your country there, when you come to Canada, you can't, if you get their citizenship or something, you can't buy a house back in their country. So some people there's just so many laws, so many things that are around citizenship and your own nationality back in your home country. So weigh those options, and then it will help you decide whether you want to keep living in Canada till you are old and grey, or you want to go back to your home country and go and die a peaceful death. At least you have a good family back at home to help you grow into that old age. So what are your thoughts? Stay or leave? I'll leave that to you, and let's chat in the comment section. Thank you so much. I will see you in my next vlog. Catch you.